Thank you so much for joining us on Extrabyte. I really appreciate you popping in just for this very, very special edition, because if you didn't join us on Sweet Bites with Sandra, make sure that you head over to the podcast and make sure you listen to this week's episode. And also, just enjoy my guest today. Her name is Barbara Kiss. Yes, that is her real name. Verified and confirmed. I actually found her music on Facebook, and so now we are Facebook friends for life, I think. And she captured the mood so well. It just kind of is that end of fall, or excuse me, end of summer into fall, and brings that kind of pop essence. I don't know, it just made me, yes, it had my shoulders going like this, right? So back and forth. Let me just say hello to you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. So, some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about are where you're from, because I know you came to the States from Hungary, right?
I did.
And so, what kind of music do you sing?
Well, it's mainly pop music, mainstream pop music, the kind of pop music that just makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I've been doing a lot of EDM back in the day, like electronic dance music when I was in
Mm-hmm.
Europe. It was more popular for European artists. Obviously,
Yeah.
we listen to American music, and so I was very excited when I came here that I would finally be able to do like real American pop music, because that I grew up in the 90s, so Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys and all
Love
those
it.
like the fantastic pop era. And I know it's cheesy, I know it's some for some
Mm-hmm.
people it's embarrassing, but I think that that music just gives you freedom and just gives you like a free happy
Mm-hmm.
moments. And that's what I want to do with my music. Like, obviously I want it
Yeah.
substance, and I'm telling my story because I usually write my songs, or at least the lyrics. um
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's just contemporary pop music that just gonna make you feel good.
Nice. Well, so it did make me feel good, and it captured my attention from the get. So I went on, I watched this lyric video to a song that you sang called "Come Alive." Now, when did you put out "Come Alive"?
I think I put out Come Alive in May, like
Mm-hmm.
definitely during quarantine. I recorded this song like I think in November. We've been working on it for a while with this producer, um, but it just took a minute because I record sometimes at home, but we were just not feeling the recording. So I went into a studio in Burbank and recorded it, and then sent it over to him. And then the whole mixing and mastering process is so boring, but that takes a long time
It
because
does.
you listen to it a billion times when they until you finally like, oh, this is it, I love it.
This
And
is
then
it.
I built up a little bit of promotion for it, and then and then I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, don't wait anymore, because I love the song, and everybody I showed the song. I mean, a lot of people were super like surprised that I was releasing it, but I was like, I'm not waiting, because they didn't really know, and I was like, I'm just gonna put
Yeah.
it out. I don't care.
Well, there's no reason to wait at this point because, we're in quarantine. It feels like quarantine never stopped. I mean, it kind of let up a little bit and then not. So, so Come Alive, I felt like number one is a great title. And then two, it just had that kind of rhythm that just kind of kept you going. And I feel like that's kind of what quarantine is. We just need something to keep us going.
Yeah.
Um, so when you are, recording, can you share just a few lessons that you've learned from your career? Because this is not your first dance, so to speak. Yeah.
For-
So maybe share with our listeners some of the other work that you've done as far as some of the productions that you've put out. So if they are, interested in Come Alive, because I'm going to put the link to the video as well. And then if they wanted to, find you other places on iTunes, what other stuff have you put out?
well, I started putting out music around, I want to say 2010.
Hmm.
So like it's been a minute. And the first couple of songs I wrote with some help.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, like I wrote my very very first song for my high school graduation, but it was in my own language, so it wasn't in English. And so that was the first song that we kind of transformed into an English song, and that's my first song called Your Smile. It was on the first album that I released in 2013. And all
Mm-hmm.
the, like, there's 12 songs in the album, and like 8 of them I was a part of the writing process. So it was great. But it's super interesting to think about how I was already doing online, you know collaborations with other musicians in early
Mm-hmm.
2010s, because I always wanted to work with American producers or
Mm-hmm.
songwriters, or not just American but like UK, or someone who can help me with the English lyrics and that, all that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
just have the production be really up to par.
Right.
And so yeah, I've been, so this, like, for me right now, like, working through quarantine with other people is like super easy because I've been doing it for like the last 10 years anyways. um, but yeah, so I put out an album in 2013. Those songs are, it's called From Me to You. It's available on Spotify and iTunes, and I think I even have it on my website, so you can buy the actual physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very dark. So I
Well,
need,
yeah, you've been evolving, right? This whole sound of yours.
it's kind of like an album of loss and frustration, and I felt a lot. Oh, it's gonna get deep, so watch out.
Okay. Tell
But
me. Give me the goods.
I grew up in Eastern Europe, so the vibe and the culture is very different than the American one. It's way
Mm-hmm.
more depressed and dark and pessimistic, and so I just felt trapped for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
trying to do my music, trying to get out, you know, with my music. And I was never able to be successful in Hungary because they were like, "Oh, this is too American. Why are you singing in English? Why aren't you singing in Hungarian or mother language?" And I was like, "Well, this is how I express myself, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know. Like, I can't really explain." And so that's what's in that album, a lot of frustration, and
Yeah.
and a couple of songs that I got from my first trip to LA back in
Mm-hmm.
2010, when I met up with a couple of songwriters and we wrote a song and recorded it. So there's a couple of happy stuff, but it's whatever I wrote is a little bit darker, a lot of
Yeah.
dance music. So it's very different from what I'm doing right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes I listen to it, I'm like, there's some gems in there. There's some
Yeah.
stuff that I'm proud of, but the sound right now is way more mainstream. It's way
Mm-hmm.
more consumer friendly.
Well, but here's the thing. When I hear, that you have this other more edgy, dark, side of you, I'm way more intrigued now. I'm like, okay, so let me listen to some of this because everyone is going through it right now. So you never know if they need your gritty side, for Monday, and by Friday they're on this come alive, right?
Yeah. No, I totally.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons I do music. Like, that's, I think, one of my goals as a musician is to
Hmm.
capture someone's emotions for them when they are unable to
Hmm.
do so. Because I feel like
Yeah.
I had that so many times throughout my, even today. Like, I
Hmm.
think in when I moved here in 2017, I think Taylor Swift came out with Reputation, and then Sam Smith came out with his album, and those two albums were like my life, word by
Hmm.
word. And this is
Yeah.
so uncanny because, like, there's billions of people in the world, but she just was talking about me, and he was talking about me, and I'm sure a billion other people, but I
Yeah.
would love to be that person that captures someone's emotions when they can't do themselves. So.
Well, you captured mine when I mean, literally, I was just on Facebook, which is kind of just, it's just so uncanny how people are connecting these days. I mean, obviously, it's a social network, right? But I do think that music is going to help us through a lot of what we're all going through right now. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we chatted with you for Extra Bite. One of the things I ask a lot of my guests is, what is your favorite piece of equipment, or like is it an app or maybe even software or even like a hack or a secret sauce that you have to use right now? Like, what are you using in your daily life that you're like, this is the jam and everybody should know about this?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. Hmm. Oh my God.
I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's really hard because I'm like thinking about like, like I'm on my phone or I'm like
Hmm.
food or is it like work stuff? So I'm like all over the place right now. I don't even know. Well, what's the jams? Let me look at my phone. Maybe there's something in there wise. But honestly, oh, you know what? That's one really good thing. It's
Tell me.
so bad. But like I found this workout app. I
Mm.
know it's so bad because everybody works at quarantine. So like it's so boring that it's like whatever. But I found the Kira Stokes app. She's like a trainer in New York. She has an app
Uh-huh.
and her workouts changed my life in the last 8 months.
Well, I need to check her out. We'll put
Like,
that on
like
our notes too.
she has like 5 minute work from 5 minute workouts to up to an hour, and it's
Mm,
everything. And it's a lot of you can like do heavy weight lifting with her or like just little fine tuning, and it's just so perfect for me because and you can mix and match all the
mm-hmm,
whatever you feel like.
mm-hmm,
And it just works so wonders for me because I'm naturally not a super thin person. So I always struggled with my body image, like looking
mm-hmm,
at all these pretty girls. And I'm like, I'm
mm-hmm,
5'4", so I'm like short and, and like a little curvy girl. So it's always
mm-hmm.
so difficult. It's like, what do I do to, like I can't starve myself because I love food and my boyfriend's a chef. So
Mm.
like, there's no way that's happening. So
You're like,
yeah, exactly. So I feel
yeah.
way stronger and toned ever since I started working out with her. So that's,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, my jam right now.
Mm, your jam could be my jam because I mean, I'm on my little one is 11 months and I haven't really started the workout yet to try to get back to what I was before. So that might be my jam too.
Yeah, it's really good. She has seven. She also has like these influencers.
Hmm.
Instagram. All the influencers have like their communities on Facebook. Like they have
Yeah.
groups, right? She has one too, and a lot of people
Ah.
will up. She does sometimes collaborations on like Facebook Live workouts with like Candace Cameron or Ashley
Mm,
Graham, and they put those up on YouTube. So you can even watch those. Super fun. So because every Monday during quarantine, Candace and Kira would go on live on
mhm,
Instagram and work out for like an hour, and it was
mm.
like the best time. Like I was always looking forward to my Monday workouts.
Nice. Well, hopefully they continue it and I can and hop on too. So if I see you in the comments scrolling, I'll be like, hey.
So good, so good. I
Yeah.
recommend it.
Well, so what is one of like like a favorite person that you've worked with, or maybe even someone that you want to work with? Because I know you're in music, so there might be a producer or someone like that.
Well, I had, I think, the privilege to work with a couple of really great people.
Hmm.
Um, and I always like so when I came in 2010, I came with a music consultant that I met in Switzerland. I know, crazy, but
Okay.
he lived in LA for 10 years as a drummer, so he
Mm,
knew a lot of people. So he took me under his wings and introduced me to a bunch of people. And I was like super young and very very up and coming, like had nothing released yet.
hmm.
And I was so naive, I didn't know anything, and he was really protective and helped me out. So it was great. I never had any bad experiences. And then one night, I didn't really work with those people, but like I was like in awe. It was the first time I ever was around semi celebrities, and
Hmm.
so I remember he took me to this party in East West Studios in Hollywood, which is like a really really famous
Hmm.
recording studio. And we met the guitar player for Pink and the Backstreet Boys, and I was like, oh my god. And then we knew that all the little rooms were booked, and I was like, so what's going on, like who's here? And they were like, well, no one's here, but they are writing Rihanna's new album. And I was like, and they wrote, that was the album, oh my god, where What's My Name and Only Girl, like that, it was that
Oh
era.
yeah, yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
like, that was such a great album, so I always remember that. It was like a super cool, I felt so cool after that. And then
Hmm.
during that trip I also met Michael Jackson's vocal coach, so I was like mind blown. But
Okay.
yeah, like I met a couple people that didn't work with them, unfortunately, but I worked with great people. I don't think that necessarily people would know them, but I worked with like Marcus Nan, Chris Vaser, super great people. but
Mhm.
who I want to work with. I have a list of those.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Who are
So
they?
I think I need to do a vision board of people I want to work with, because
Vision boards are great. Vision
that
boards are amazing.
right? That should happen. So producer number one, Max Martin.
Mhm.
Like I would give a limb for that.
You
um,
need all, you need them.
he is so amazing. Like, you know, and just if you think the early stuff for Britney or the Backstreet Boys or
Mhm.
NSYNC, whatever. But now he's doing Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande, and every
Mhm.
single song is a hit. It's like, wow.
Mhm.
So he is like
He's
top,
on your list.
top, top. David Foster also would be really cool, but you know, um, but artist wise, there's this UK singer that I'm obsessed with. I don't know if you know him. His name is James Arthur. I am
Hmm.
obsessed with
I'll
him.
have to look him up. What
You,
kind of music?
it's like pop, hip hop, a little rock influence.
Hmm.
He. I lived in London for a little bit,
Me too.
and so in 2012 he won the X Factor when I was there,
Oh,
and
okay.
he is just so amazing. He has a lot of like issues, so he was like up and down, but now he's like
Hmm.
going strong, and his voice
Hmm.
is just so magical. So I encourage you to like I'll post about him once a week on my Instagram stories and be like, if you haven't seen me post about him, then you're new here, so let's go. He's so amazing. So James Arthur is, I know he's not like a super big star in the US. He's huge in
Hmm.
Europe, but he is so mesmerizing, and he's
That's
great.
good. Well, the good thing is you know who you want to work with, and if you we're putting it out there in the ether, right? So
I
you never
emailed
know.
him before. I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna start messaging you guys until you cave. So good luck." 'Cause, you know,
You
like,
never know, right?
yeah, maybe he'll be bored one day and be like, "Whatever," or maybe
I,
I
or
the
or
song.
maybe hear your song and be inspired, right? So
Because I was thinking, I should just write the song and then send it to him and be like, "Hey, you wanna sing on it? Maybe."
yeah.
He has a home studio. Everybody has a home studio now, so he can just like pop in and sing a verse for me, and then I'll be the happiest girl in the whole world. But yeah, he's I think my number one pick. I always wanted to work with the Backstreet Boys. I don't really know how that would plan out. Like it's kind of uh,
Yeah.
would be interesting, but yeah, he's absolutely my number one pick. I'm
I
obsessed
don't
with.
know how many people Backstreet Boys have collaborated on like songs with, but like Mariah collaborated with Boys to Men. I mean,
And
so
like individually, they also collaborated. I think.
yeah. Oh, right, right, right.
I mean, I'm fine with being a lifelong fan. Like it's fine. But
Yeah.
Arthur is like someone that is, my generation, my type of music in a lot of ways, and so inspiring, like
Mhm.
so inspiring. So
Well, I wish you the best of luck. And if you are a James Arthur connection, send us a note and we'll try to make this collaboration happen. Thank you so much, Barbara Kiss, for joining me on Extra Byte. And make sure to check the show notes for any links to all of her information, website, social profiles, and of course, her music. And we will see you on the next one.
thank you guys so much. Bye.
Thank you.